everyone, and welcome back to the Madden 26 franchise. After a really good year one, despite not making the playoffs at 8-9, we are ready to go into our first offseason. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're going to go over a lot of storylines, the season recap, some staff upgrades. We have a ton of player upgrades, the re-signings, our current roster, free agency, and then finally the draft. And then we'll go to cut down day. We won't have a preseason game because I think it just makes the episode drag on. So again, if you enjoy it, leave a like, and let's get into it. We start with a storyline, player recognition.
The top prize in the NFL is the Lombardi Trophy, but some individual hardware is pretty nice to end a season with too. Today, one of their players has a reason to celebrate.
So we choose to praise Breece Hall. We get a +5 player approval rating, and Breece gets a +4,500 XP boost. And let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster. If you want to look at them in more detail, be sure to pause the video. Actually, CJ Stroud, the big #1 quarterback, Brock Purdy didn't end up on it, despite being league MVP because he made the Super Bowl. A lot of the big names you would expect there. Jalen Phillips, who was the Defensive Player of the Year, obviously made it. We had a couple on the offensive line. Quincy Williams was one as well. And again, McNamara was one. And again, if you want to look at them, pause the video. Now let's take a look at the retirements. And if you want to look at them in more detail, pause the video. Some of the big names: Harrison Smith, Kyler Zeitler, Aaron Rodgers is gone, Cameron Hayward, Cam Jordan, Demario Douglas, Davis, Bobby Wagner's gone. Matthew Stafford's gone. Adam Thielen is gone. Taylor Moton is gone. We lost Tyrod Taylor and Nick Folk, so those are 2 holes in the roster. Backup QB and kicker. Lane Johnson is gone after a long Hall of Fame career. Travis Kelce, Khalil Mack, and Levante David, Calais Campbell. Joe Flacco's done. Just a lot of big names retiring. And a lot of new faces are going to be in the NFL. And if you want to look at them in closer detail, you can always pause the video. Now on to the season recap. So last episode, the entire playoff recap. Bills won the Super Bowl 17-9 over San Francisco. Ray Davis was the Super Bowl MVP, 2 rushing touchdowns in that game, which was the only touchdowns of the game. MVP of the regular season, Brock Purdy. D'Amico Ryans and the 1-seeded Texans gets Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Breece Hall, who led the NFL in rushing yards and touchdowns. Jalen Phillips, Defensive Player of the Year, which was interesting. 15.5 sacks, which did not lead the league, or top 3 even, but he had 1 forced fumble, and that was it. Rookie of the Year offense, Luther Burden III for the Bears, 1,111 yards, 6 touchdowns. And for defense, Carson Schweschinger, it's 162 total tackles, 11 for a loss, 3 sacks, 4 deflections, 2 picks, and a forced fumble. And now to a storyline with a staff upgrade.
One season ends and the work begins on the next for players and coaches. Their goals are the same: find weaker areas and make them strengths to bring into a new year.
So the goal for our offensive coordinator, Zach Parker, is to establish the inside run. So before we get into re-signing and the free agency period, we have 13 upgrades. Breece Hall is up to a 90, Donovan Edwards up to a 70, Will Shepard up to a 70, Harrison Mevis up to a 70, Jarek Bernard Converse up to a 67, Demir Miller 67, Leonard Taylor III up to a 66, Eric Watts 66, Mario Goodrich up to a 65, Pokey Wilson up to a 65, Aaron Smith up to a 64, Quentin Skinner up to a 63, and Bump Cooper Jr. up to a 59. Obviously, lot of new names because those are all of our practice squad players and Breece Hall that have to rejoin the roster at the conclusion of the 2025 season. So now before we get into free agency, we have some players we could re-sign, and it starts with Breece Hall. That's a slam dunk. We have to re-sign him. 4 for 16. I mean, that is a bargain for a year. I mean, that's really nothing. Elijah Vera Tucker, 3-year deal for $27 million. He has been an outstanding guard. I want to keep the offensive line as intact as possible. Will McDonald will have his 5th-year option accepted. We want to keep him for his 5th year. He was outstanding this year. We offered Andre Sisco a 3-year contract, but he rejected. Same with Quincy Williams, except he got a 2-year deal. John Simpson, then we extended a 3-year contract to. Again, both our guards are going to come back. All 5 of our starting offensive linemen are going to return for the 2026 season. Then 3 rejections. Tyler Johnson declined a 2-year deal. Austin McNamara, I tried to, cheese it. It was a minimum for 7 years. And then Andrew Beck, he did return for a 7-year deal. So looking at the current roster and what we need. So we let a lot of receivers go. So Garrett Wilson really is a lot of depth pieces. So we need to bring in a good number 2. And backup offensive line, we only have one, Carter Warren at left tackle. We need tight ends. Currently the only one is Mason Taylor. Jeremy Ruckert is gone, so is Stone Smart. Then linebacker, obviously, with Quincy deciding to reject the offer, we need some linebacker depth. Safety as well, we let, obviously, Cisco rejected. We let Tony Adams go. Didn't really like what his contract offer was. And obviously, McNamara declined, and Nick Folk obviously retired. And then we need a kick returner. I want some more juice back there, some more speed. As much as Kene Nwangu is one of the best in real life, in Madden, he has to be faster. So I'm a genius that didn't get the actual recording of me sending out the offers in free agency. So I just put them on a graphic. I hope you don't mind that. So start with the first round offers. We sent out 5. We got all 5. Jahan Dotson for a 2-year deal. Kavante Turpin for a 1-year deal. Laken Tomlinson for a 1-year deal. We got Quincy back for a 3-year deal. And then our Darius Washington, our biggest contract of the first round, for a 4-year deal. Now to the second round, all 10 of our players, obviously I went all out. Jake Bates, we got a kicker, we got a punter. Austin McNamara is back. I wanted him back, and I did get him back. Malik Hooker we signed from Dallas. Isaiah Simmons. So there are our safeties from Green Bay, Isaiah Simmons. Kenneth Murray Jr. from Dallas, just some linebacker depth, along with Troy Anderson. We got rejected by Elijah Moore, would have been a return for him. Kenny Pickett, just as a backup QB. McCole Hardman as a deep threat and a kick returner. And then we got rejected by Nick Gates, again, offensive line depth. Then for the final round, only 5 players. We got our tight end room sorted out. We got our backups in Foster Moreau for a 2-year deal. Harrison Bryant, Mo Alley Cox for a 1-year deal. Then backup offensive lineman, Matt Hennessy, and Lucas Patrick. And again, as the dummy I forgot to take a video of me taking the trade, so just look at it the backwards way. We got the 2nd overall pick from Tennessee. We're trading up for a quarterback, and we give Tennessee a lot of picks for the next 3 years. That is going to really hurt drafting and developing for the rest of the series. So with that, with our pick traded up for, let's go to the draft. And in the first round, obviously, the elephant was in the room. Justin Fields was not the answer for the future. So we trade up to 102 to get first-round quarterback Jason Dawson. So with the trade with Tennessee, we don't pick until the 4th round. And in the 4th round, I decided to go wide receiver, and we got Thaddeus McAllister, a wide receiver. So again, with all the trading we did, and the draft is always buggy for some reason, we go to the 6th round. We have 4 picks, and we start with Trent Armstrong, a free safety. Our next pick in the 6th round is Calvin Boren, and this guy, I scouted. I saw a lot of positive. I think he's going to be one of our best players outside of Dawson. Probably our best player in the draft. And unfortunately, on our next pick, I even traded down. We got I traded down. I forgot what the deal was for. You'll see it here. I don't know what happened. It just wouldn't let me pick a player. I cheesed it. We were gonna get Jonathan Peralta, a good linebacker. I force traded from Arizona for nothing because that was my pick, and they're gonna forfeit for Madden being a bad game. So we got, I believe, a running back named Rhodes was our pick. So I mean, it's just awful this game sometimes, but whatever. And our final pick, last of the 6th round. I don't know why we were picking 32nd. We didn't exactly win the Super Bowl, but we took our long snapper, Aaron Judge. I couldn't pass up. I mean, it's in New York. You gotta do it. So let's take a look at the draft recap and our draft. I thought we did really good. Obviously, I think Dawson is going to be our QB of the future. Obviously, Dawson, I think, is going to be our QB of the future. I thought we had a home run with Boren, and obviously Rhodes, the running back. I hate that bug. That was a bug last year that I was able to get around, but I couldn't get around it this year to really mess things up. But we're going to look at around the league and all the top players by overall in the draft. We got 480 plus overalls. And again, if you want to look at it, the 75 pluses in more detail, be sure to pause the video, as we're just going to go through it. So now we have storylines, and wow, do they get repetitive during the preseason. We will start at preseason week 1 with rookie OTAs.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an immediate impact in the lineup.
All right, so we promised Jason Dawson to get him up to speed quickly, and he gets a plus 2,500 XP boost. Now we do have a position battle storyline.
Some turmoil threatens their roster in the early season. A challenge has been made for a top spot on the depth chart. Competition breeds success, but coaches will decide how far the competition goes.
Obviously, we're not really planning on Fields being the starter, so we're just going to say talk to him after preseason. Now we have a storyline for staff improvements. This was the follow-up from the first storyline of the episode where we want to establish the inside run, and we get the insider trading ability. Now to part 2 at week 4 of the preseason for rookie OTAs.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an immediate impact in the lineup.
No, I didn't repeat it. That's the same exact storyline. And Dawson gets the same exact boost. I picked the same exact prompts. And now we go on to the follow-up for the position battle. We don't name Fields the starter. Kind of empty promise there to give him some playing time. I don't think that's going to really happen, barring an injury, which you never know with this game. But he gets 2,500 XP. We do not allow him to be the starter. All right, before we get into cutdown day, we have 18 upgrades to get through. And we'll start with Azari Thomas up to an 82. Jason Dawson already up to a 79 with all the storylines he's gotten. Fashano up to a 79. Mason Taylor up to a 79. Braylon Allen up to a 75. Laken Tomlinson to a 74. Jahan Dotson up to a 74. Arian Smith to a 73. McNamara up to a 72. Boren up to a 70. Malachi Moore up to a 69. As well as Zaire Barnes, Thaddeus McAllister, and then Damir Miller up to a 68. Jonathan Peralta, I told you we're going to trade for him, up to a 68. Mario Goodrich up to a 66. Rhodes as well up to a 66. And Brady Cook up to a 63. So we do have to cut 15 players with our free agency and draft. And we'll start with Harrison Mevis. He goes on to the practice squad. Thomas Hennessy is cut. Brady Cook to the practice squad. Alfonso Rhodes to the practice squad, as well as Quentin Skinner. Demir Miller. Pokey Wilson is cut. Watts to the practice squad, as well as Leonard Taylor III. Aaron Smith. Bump Cooper Jr., Mario Goodrich is cut outright. Francisco Mauigoa up to the practice squad, as well as Will Shepard and Arian Smith. And those are our 15 cuts to get us down to the 53-man roster. And on to another rookie OTA storyline. And I promise, this is later in the preseason.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an immediate impact in the lineup.
I wish I could tell you I was joking. The same exact storyline, same exact dialogue prompts, same exact results happened 3 times in the same preseason. All for Jason Dawson. I chose the same exact options. And yeah, he gets essentially what? 1,300 or so XP? 13, or actually it might be 1,450 XP total. So with all that over, the repetitive storyline's over, let's take a look at our schedule for the 2026 season. And we start at home against Minnesota. Then we go to Miami and at home for Green Bay and Denver. Week 5, we have a 3-game road trip starting in New England, then to Chicago, then to the West Coast to the Chargers. Week 8 takes us back home for 2 divisional games, Buffalo and New England. Then we head down to Jacksonville in Week 10, back home before the bye against Cleveland and Miami. Week 13 bye, that's very late, the second latest possibility. Then Week 14, a big game against Kansas City. And then Week 15, we finish the season 3 of 4 road games at Detroit, at home against Cardinals for the home finale, at Vegas, and at Buffalo. And with all of that said, all the offseason free agency draft and preseason over with, Week 1 of the 2026 season kicks off with Thursday Night Football between the Chiefs and Bills as banner night for the Bills. The Sunday slate of games looks like this: the Rams, Cowboys, Bears, Panthers, Saints, Lions, Texans, Browns, Colts, Bengals, Jaguars, Titans, Ravens, Steelers, Giants, Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals, Patriots, Packers. We play the Minnesota Vikings as stated before. Dolphins, Broncos, Seahawks, Eagles on Sunday night, and on Monday night they have a doubleheader. The Buccaneers play the Falcons, and the Niners play the Chargers. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time when we face the Minnesota Vikings in the season opener.